There we go. And we're back.
Hutch he's tying everybody together. Soweto's just floating on top, you know. He's just gliding on top with his beautiful sound, and Nick's laying down the soulful grooves, man. He's tight as a whew. And I'm just in there, just colours.
Being in this recording studio with these guys has completely reminded me of how lucky, how blessed I am to know these musicians. And on piano, I'm playing with Reuben James, who's somebody I've known for nigh on 10 years, even though he's still a very young chap. And he's somebody who brings a lightness of touch, brings great technique, and really has a sense of swing and power that, you know, belies a musician of his tender years.
He was one of the first kind of young people, or youngish, he's gonna kill me for that, guys that were like playing some serious jazz, and I was hooked immediately. I heard his sound and his technique and his flair, and I was like, oh my god, I could be like this guy. The best thing about being in Soweto's band is that it really pushes me as a musician, and it's amazing to kind of like be around musicians of this caliber. Playing with these guys is a dream come true, really.
And then we got Greg Hutchinson, man, the fire keg that is Mr. Hutchinson. I've been a fan of Greg's playing ever since I heard him with Roy Hargrove, playing with Joe Henderson, some great classic jazz albums he's been on, and also playing with the legends, Betty Carter, Wynton Marsalis, everyone you can name in jazz he's probably hit with at some point.
The best thing about being in Soweto's band is that the music that we play, while steeped in the tradition of jazz, lends itself for many interpretations of the music, and we are able to tap into not only the jazz aspect of the music, but other sides of other genres of music also that we like, whether it be hip-hop or R&B or whatever. We're able to do that, so I think it makes music challenging. We met each other a long time ago, and I think maybe I was playing with Josh or Redmond, and we hung out in the hotel room afterwards.
Rather than just talking random jazz stuff, we got into a hip-hop conversation. He started beating some beats on the table.
And we ended up, you know, he raps also, incredible rapper. And I ended up banging out a beat on the table, and he ended up spitting like some just cold, just oof. So I put it on MySpace, and people were like, yo, and I was like, man, we gotta do something.
And from that point, really, there was a musical friendship forged, but I realized that he's one of only a handful of cats on the planet that really understand both idioms that are dear to me, both hip-hop and jazz, in a really sincere way. Nick Jurd, man, it's wonderful to play with Nick, and to have played with Nick for the past 4 or 5 years now. He's somebody whose sound is really evolved and still evolving, and particularly, you know, when you're dealing with jazz, somebody who spent a lot of time on their instrument and can really sing through it is a rare thing. To hear the wood and the strings in a way that touches you, you know, it's a real pleasure.
I get to play all of my favourite sorts of music in one band. Obviously there's jazz and there's hip hop. There's loads of sort of classical things, a lot of the bass lines are really like Bach, sort of moving counterpoint bass lines. Loads of like African influence and like Caribbean reggae vibes. Anything he can get his teeth into ends up in music, you know.
I get a lot of people coming up to me after gigs from both musical camps, you know, a lot of maybe over 50s people saying, well, that was hip-hop, it wasn't quite so offensive after all. And then you've got a lot of younger hip-hop heads who have probably not seen, you know, live ensembles playing jazz with quite that level of passion as we do sometimes. So I get a lot of, you know, teenager people in the early 20s sort of, oh, jazz is all right after all. And frankly, that's a really gratifying feeling to have. It's all about bringing audiences together, bringing listeners together under an umbrella that's not, I wear my cap backwards and I'm urban, so I'm hip hop, or I stroke my beard and wear a beret, so I'm jazz, you know? I think the principles that connect us as humans, you know, the similarities vastly outweigh the differences.